Yo, what's up, people? What up? Yeah, so today, I don't remember how I got to this video, but I think it came along the lines of somebody asking someone to listen to their song or listen to a poem or something like that, and the person that listened to it gave the artist a negative critique of their work. It's just like, I really think this is something you should be doing, and you can tell that the artist, he really took it hard. So today's video, we're going to be talking about how to deal with criticism, what critics are, the positive and the negatives of accepting critics, and why you should or should not be offended by critics or getting a critique from someone. Let's get into it. Today's video is going to be called Dealing with Criticism. We all got to deal with it. So let's stay tuned. So the politically accepted definition of a critic is the analysis and judgment of the merits and faults of literary or artistic work. Sounds pretty simple. The hood definition of a critic is a motherfucker who's unable to do what you do, but wants to talk about how you're doing it. And I think we could all generally agree on that. If I'm a basketball player, the person who can't play as good as I do or as well as I do, he's gonna come to the park and be like, yo, you whack, blah, 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 let's play for, stuff like that. If I rap and I play it to my cousin who's trash, he'll be like, yeah, but this don't sound hot this don't sound like that new Jay-Z. Like, no, it's not Jay-Z, it's me, mother effer. Why you comparing me to Jay-Z? Let me be me. Let me be great at being me. Sorry for that rant. But we gotta face it, man. Most of us, we don't like to be criticized, and we're always on defense. Friends, families, peers, colleagues, we're generally surrounded by those people's opinions. And when we take their opinions too seriously, we lose sight of our own selves and our own opinions and our own feelings. We can get sometimes so wrapped up in a person's advice or what they think about what we're doing or what we should be doing, and it kind of minimizes the value of our own. But a lot of the times, when you're inside your own head, you are your worst critic. You critique yourself harder than anybody else, harder than your parents, harder than your grandparents, harder than your teachers, harder than your best friends, harder than anybody. It's amazing how we still allow people to take some of our personal power based on just their opinions. So what I'm gonna get into right now is just a couple of positive aspects of accepting or being open to people's critiques. Number one, sometimes listening to a person that's critiquing you can help promote change. Think about writing, for instance, and if you're a good writer and you think you're a good writer and you have a good story, and then you give it to somebody to read and they're like, hey, this is a good story, but I think you could do X, Y, and Z, or you should try this, that, and the third. They're giving you advice on how to change your work for the better. A positive aspect of listening to a critique is that it helps promote change, growth, development of a new skill, or learning how to do something better than before. So back to the example I just gave, you are a new and upcoming writer and you feel like your work is pretty good, then you give it to a seasoned editor, somebody who's been in the business or the field for a little while. They're gonna be able to tell you the quote unquote rights and wrongs of what you're doing. Now that doesn't mean that their opinion is law, but let's just say that because of their experiences, they've seen a lot of what happens. So when they give you the advice, it's sort of something that you could take into consideration. Now, what are some of the negative sides of listening to critics? Sometimes hearing negative critiques, they could make someone become shy, not confident in themselves. It can cause friction, low self-esteem, or it could even cause misplaced judgment. Let's say I'm making a painting, and I think my painting is the next Van Gogh. And somebody who is a collector comes and says, yeah, this looks horrible. This looks like a ripoff. And I look at him and I'm gonna resent him. I wanna curse him out or fight him, because why is he disrespecting my work? My first thing is like, boy, where's your painting? Where's your work at? Show me yours and then we could compare. But a lot of time we become so, I don't want to say self-absorbed, but we become so conditioned to care about what other people think. And it really doesn't matter what other people think. It really matters what you think. At the end of the day, it's what you think, what you do, what you say that matters. And when you put more power into other people, sometimes the results don't always turn out the way that you want them to be. The second thing that I wanted to get to is why you should not be offended or even excited about critics. Why should you not be offended by a person who's critiquing your work? Well, let's just think. Criticism is just that. Criticism is just a person's educated guess or an opinion or judgment on something that somebody else is doing. Sometimes that person that's judging can't do what you do, but they will give you an opinion about, you know, a song or a poem or whatever it is. We might not all be artists, but we're all capable of consuming art. So that's the double-edged sword about critics who can't do what you do. If I recite my 16, my fire bars to my man, and I got a beat that I'm about to send to Jay-Z, and he tells me my joint is trash, I'm like, the fuck? But really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When he tells you your beat is fire, you know, it's encouragement, but it also doesn't matter. It's the same thing. A negative opinion, they're both the same thing on opposite sides of the spectrum. It really comes down to how you feel. If you feel it's great, it is. It might not be a consensus or universal. It's your opinion that matters the most. Because now if you're not confident with your work, a person's opinion can make or break what you do. Got to keep that in mind. It's okay to be able to take compliments, a good critique, and it's okay to feel some type of way about a negative critique, but you don't have to. It's also a choice. Keep that in mind. Now, the last thing I wanted to touch on with criticism is just, how do you assess a person's intent? How do you know where the person is coming from when they give you a critique? Let's say you have a friend that always says negative things when you do something. They always have something negative to say. Oh, that dress is whack. Oh, that painting's whack. Your photos are trash. You should stop doing it. They always have something to say. If you know the speaker and you know that they're a hater, then you could figure out where their motives and their intent is coming from. And it usually has some underlining tones, like the instance that I just gave you. If a person is always hating on you, it's just secret admiration. They don't know how to say that they want to do what you do, or maybe they want you to teach. Whatever the case may be, they secretly admire you. And the only way that they can express themselves is through negativity. Negative press is better than no press, as they say. So if you're saying something negative, it usually means something. On your journey, you just have to be able to decide what a person's intent. Are they attempting to help you by giving you pointers that's going to help you grow? Are they just another venom slinger here to tear you down? The venom slingers are, you know, people who say very poisonous things, and sometimes we take those poisons on and it could mess up our whole feng shui. It messes up the whole joint. You know what I mean? Some people work better out of negativity, and some people work better out of positivity. Some people need reinforcements, positive reinforcements. Other people need adversity in order to overcome their trials and tribulations. That's going to help them grow. Long story short, to summarize everything, when you're dealing with critics, just know that it's just a person's opinion and it's not the end all and be all about what you do. Being able to understand the positive and negative aspects of accepting a person's opinion, not being too excited either way about it, and just understanding where they're coming from. What's their intent? Are they trying to build me up or are they trying to tear me down? But once you have some of these general pointers in order, you should be able to deal with criticism on both sides of the spectrum. So it was a little quick video just about dealing with criticism, and hope this helped you. If it did, subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, anything to add, leave them in the comment section below. I got a book on Amazon. Check it out. It should be somewhere in the link on productive communications. I did a video on that. You should check that out. It's going to be somewhere around here. Somewhere over there. You know how I do. New music up. Just a couple of beats. Songs coming soon. Photos. Everything. You know how we do. Until I see you again. Oh, you seen the muscle? Look at the muscle. Yeah, I'm skinny though.